Everybody, I'm Tasha with the Major Change Group, and today we're going to talk about credit card utilization. Now, let me know in the comments, are you trying to increase your credit score fast? Well, if you are, the quickest way that you can increase your credit score is by tackling your utilization. Now, our credit utilization is 30% of our credit score. And so we want to make sure that we are reporting 30% or less. But I would say really a sweet spot is going to be less than 10%. So recently I got this question asking me, when you're taking a look at your credit utilization, do you look at it for your overall credit utilization or per card? So let's get into it. So the question was, the way utilization works, is it over one card or for all cards? Because I have a 30K with a zero balance, and then I have used 5K out of 10K on a different card. Does it make a difference if the utilization is 50% on one card or 5K over the 40K available credit? So let's take a look at this. Now, first, what we really want to take a look at is what is credit utilization. So our credit utilization is going to be broken down by our total available credit divided by our debt, which is going to make our utilization. So really, you can take a look at it per credit card or overall credit utilization. So in this example, he has a credit card that has $5,000 debt on it, and he has a $10,000 available credit. So for that credit card, he has 50% utilization. But the thing is, overall, he has 40K in available credit, but only 5K in debt. So technically, that only really makes him have about 12% utilization overall on his credit cards. So when we actually go into Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion, what it's going to do is it's going to take a look at our overall. So it's going to give us a number of our overall credit utilization. And I would say you want to take a look at that. But let's say if your utilization is over 30% or higher, then you want to take a look at each individual credit card to see, well, which one of these credit cards are making me have over 30% utilization. So then if I was trying to increase my credit score fast, I would take a look. And so possibly for the credit card that has 50% utilization, I would tackle that credit card first, so that once I pay that down either to zero or let's say under 10%, my credit score is going to increase fast, because that's going to take my overall credit utilization down. So let me know in the comments, how do you take a look at it? Do you take a look at it overall or for individual credit card? So what I want to do is, I actually went into my Experian and I was checking out what my utilization was in my credit cards. So when I went into Experian, because I love Experian, it just gives so much information. So that's where I'll usually go to take a look at my credit score and my credit utilization. And so when I went in there, it stated that I had 2% credit utilization over all my credit cards. But when I was taking a look at my individual credit cards, my American Express Surpass, I had actually reported 25%. So I was like, dang. And so usually what I'll try to do, I will take a look at my closing date, which your closing date is when they're going to report to the credit bureau. And usually I'll try to pay the credit card down to either 2 or 7% by my closing date. That way, when I'm reporting to the credit bureau, I'm not reporting a high utilization, because, it possibly could decrease my credit score a couple of points. But for me, since my overall utilization is 2%, then most likely it's not going to impact me too bad. But usually, what I like to do is, so here you can see that I had a balance of $1,116, and the minimum payment due was $40. So you always want to make sure you pay the minimum due of the $40 before the due date. And then what I'll do is I'll pay it down to, let's say, 2 or 7%, and let that report to the credit bureau. So usually I'll take a look after the 16th. And then once I know that it reported to the credit bureau, then I'll pay the credit card off so that I know that I'm not paying any interest on my credit cards. But I do want to report utilization to the credit bureau so that they'll know that I do have some usage. But just because you are reporting usage, it doesn't mean that you have to pay interest. So you'll have to let me know, what do you think about that? Just because we want to show usage on our credit cards, do you think that you have to pay interest? In my opinion, I don't think that we have to. And so that's why I'll take a look at what is my statement date or my closing date to see when is it going to be reporting. And so that's how I take a look at my utilization. And really, I like to use my Experian along with my Chase portal, because when I go into my Chase portal, it'll tell me how much I have utilized on all of my credit cards. And then I'll go in and I'll try to rotate it. That way I can show usage on all the credit cards over time, opposed to, because most of the time I'm only going to be using like, 3 credit cards, how you usually have your daily drivers. And now my daily drivers are my Navy Federal flagship and my American Express Gold card. So those are the cards that I'm using. But I like to show usage on the other cards, so they don't close cards. Because in a few videos ago, I was telling y'all how I had got a message from Experian, and they was telling me that one of my cards hadn't had usage for like 6 months. And I'm just like, I don't want that card to close. And so that's why I like to rotate the credit cards and things like that. But let me know, what do you think? Are you checking your utilization overall or just for one credit card? Let me know in the comment. Please like, subscribe, share with a friend, but turn your notification bell on so you will be notified when new content drops. I thank you so much for watching. Until next time. It's not a game.